Hello guys, hope all of you guys are doing fine and I hope this video meets you well. So what we are going to be doing is that I'm simply going to be screen recording my screen to show you the experience or how an ICT, or let's say computer practical, could look like, right? The feeling you could have. So I'm not going to be editing this video. I'm going to be sending you this video raw the way it was, so you see all the difficulties, all the confusions, all the techniques that we can apply during ICT or computer science practicals. But I'm going to be concentrating on ICT, meaning this is basically or mainly for ICT students, but the beginning of this video is very important for everybody. So the first thing I would like to give you is some few advices when it comes to ICT practicals, right? So during ICT practicals, you have the question with you. They give you the question and it's there in front of you in paper, and you have a folder called your candidate folder. Generally, it doesn't have this name, right? It just name maybe candidate folder. So you have to rename it following the instructions the invigilator gives you, right? You rename it following the instructions the invigilator gives you. I don't know what they're going to say this year, but generally it's simply just called candidate folder, and you might have to rename it with your name followed by your candidate identification number. But that's just the trend, right? It's not an obligation. They always tell you what to do, so just do exactly that. First, secondly, you have to be extremely attentive with the instructions the invigilator gives. Compared to other practicals, IT practicals are not like others. You need the invigilator. So there are some tasks here that they say print this and print that. It is the invigilator that will come and print it, so you have to do exactly as they say. If the paper says, even one of the instructions in the paper says the contrary, you must do as they say. So be careful when you're entering there. As they are talk, follow the instructions to the line. Don't even try to play smart, because you cannot really play smart in that hall. It's not that easy, right? For some of you people. So be extremely attentive. Secondly, make sure you're early compared to other practicals or other subjects. Yes, you can be early, they tolerate, but it doesn't have an effect on you. But if you are late here and it happens that there's something you do not hear, and I can assure you the investors might not come back to it, right? Hope we got that clearly. So generally you have to open your question. So I have my question here with me already open. We're going to be answering June 2022 paper 3, and we're going to be taking group 1 for now. That's day 1 for now. So that's basically what we're going to be doing, right? So we'll go through the questions, we'll try to understand the questions, and we'll see what exactly you are expecting those candidates of that year were expected to do. So also pardon me for the noise around. It's very noisy here. So I just hope you're getting me so very well. So we're going to proceed by checking out some of the instructions. You are reminded for the necessity of good English. Your result must be recorded in the space provided in the question booklet. Yeah, meaning this question booklet has space. Some of the things you must write here. You must write here. I'm going to try to type here, but generally it's your paper is right in front of you, so you just write the formula, right? You just copy the formula. So I'm going to be sharing this video alongside this paper. I'm going to sharing this video alongside this paper. So what I'm advising you is that you print the paper before you listen to this video. That's an advice, right? So if you actually have a possibility of printing the paper now, you might just try and print the paper before you finish this video, right? I'm going to pass this information before sending the video, so you print the paper first. It's more beneficial when the paper is right in front of you. Hope you got that clearly. So also what I've done is that my candidate folder has already been opened. So inside the folder I have group 1 and group 2, so we're going to be concentrating on group 1. Generally when you open it, you just see what you're supposed to see. You don't see this candidate folder, maybe 2 of them. You only see 1, and then right inside you have the things, right? Sometimes you just open it and this is what you just see. It basically means that in this practical you need this database and you need spreadsheet, right? That is Access, Microsoft Access, and Microsoft Excel, right? So basically we're going to double click and open it, but mine is already open, so I'm basically just going to close this and open the folder, right? So this is it here. Sometimes just try to go through, just quickly rush through and see what it's all about, right? What is inside, right? Just go through them. I can see that when I scroll here, I have some three tables. I have all sales, I have summary, and so on and so forth, right? So we actually have sometimes. First of all, always try to observe. Just first of all observe to understand. Forget about the questions, right? Try to look if you can even get what is going on, right? You can see SN, you can see name, you can see percentage discount, you can see unit price, quantity, payable price, item, right? It's not complicated to understand that this is the unit price of this, of let's say brush, this is the unit price of a spade, and this is the quantity maybe this person bought, and then this payable total is how much you pay, and discount is maybe how much they discounted from this, right? That's, you can understand this. Try to go to the other table. For those that don't understand, you can know some students have a lot of confusions here. You can observe these things. Let me just try to highlight it. This place, this is where, this is actually where you're going to be, you're going to have tables, right? This is where you're going to have tables, this position here. So this is your first table, this is your second table, and so let's go to the second. We have the third table. The second table is named old sales, and it has an SN, a date, an item, a unit price, and so on and so forth. So it's the thing is just to go through all of them to try to first of all understand. Just try to see if you get the point, if you even get understand what they're talking about, right? So it's very important. It's very necessary. So now after going through, quickly go to the questions and see what the questions are then asking you to do. So we're going to go to the question and jump straight to answering the first questions, even the first five. Let's see. Open business workbook in the candidate folder. This workbook contains 3 worksheets: sales, all sales, and summary. As we said, we saw in the workbook as it contains 3 worksheets, right? Know that Excel functions just like a book. So that's why they call Excel an Excel document a workbook, right? Excel just functions like that. It just functions like a book. So it has pages, page 1, page 2, page 3. So they work on the book, so that's why it's called a workbook. And each workbook has different sheets, right? You get the point now. So you have different for example, if you press here, you'll be like add next. So you're adding an empty sheet, right? So let's delete this empty sheet. It's not necessary. That was just to tell you. So we have sales, old sales, and summary, right? Let's go back to the question and actually see what the question was saying we should do. They said question, this again, this is 10 to 10, right? Question 10, let's label it. Question 1 to 10 is based on sales sheet. So question 1 to 10 is based on sales sheet. So I'm going to suggest that we highlight each question we're working with. Let's first of all work with the first 5, right? Let's mark the first 5 and start working with. So the first question we're going to be answering is: change the font type of the first row showing SN name 5% discount to Algerian, meaning we should change the font of the first row, and this is showing, that means the row that has SN name, percentage discount, and so on and so forth, dot means, and so on and so forth. Oh yeah, we should change the font of that first row to Algerian, right? Advise to watch the video in high quality to be able to see these letters, everything. To Algerian, we should change the fonts to Algerian. So let's quickly rush to the Excel and see, right? You have to be faster than me because I'm running from application to application, but generally your computer is just like this and you are reading all those questions on your paper. So we are asked to change this font, this row, the whole of this first row, everything that the row that contains SN name, percentage discount, and all the rest, we should change it to Algerian font. So this is how you change fonts. First and foremost, you any field you are working on must be highlighted, right? So, and you might be asking me, what is a field? A field is just like one of these boxes. A field is like where you play on, where you write on, right? So it's one of these boxes where you can put in information. This is what they call a field. So this is a field, this is a field. So every field you're working on must be highlighted. If I'm working on where this 8 is, but it must be highlighted like this. And every field has something. If this was mathematics, we call it coordinates, right? So if this is on column number E, and on row number 10, or let's say column letter E, and on row number 10, then this field is called field E10. This is going to be field G2. This is going to be field G9. This is going to be field G22, right? I touched randomly here. This is going to be field E15. Right, so we're going to do a small quick exercise. I'll touch 3 fields and you think in your own mind what they are, and after 5 seconds or 3 seconds, I'm going to tell you what field is. Okay, what field is this? Okay, if you said field G6, that's correct. What field is this? If you said field G22, that's fine. What field is this? If you said field G24, That's correct. So we're going to proceed. You have to highlight all the fields. So we need to highlight the whole row, everything on the row. So just touch here. We want to highlight the whole of the row. Just touch the number. Just click the number here. Come until you see this arrow, not this one, but this other arrow. Right? Excel has a lot of arrows. I'm going to quickly explain to you just after this the arrows. Right? This other arrow can help you to click everywhere. When you come to this one, you see the arrow looks down. So it tells that when you click here, you mark everything down. When you come here, it tells you that if you click, you mark everything going that way. That is how this arrow functions. But when you take it closer between the range between 7 and 8, for example, you see that the arrow change, right? The arrow naturally has to change. Just something slow here. And note that you're not going to have supercomputers there, okay? So most of the computers they might be very slow. So when it's turning, please be careful, be patient. Don't force things out. When a computer just has a small like freezes, try to leave it a little bit. Don't force it, because you don't force computers. Just leave it to solve its own problem. So if I stand between 10 and 11, you're going to see the arrow changing, showing me that I can right click and increase or decrease this field. Like I can increase 10 to be bigger, right? And that only happens when you come between two numbers and the arrow changes. Then you can increase the size. Same for this place, you can increase the size or decrease the size. Are we together? You come close, you see this arrow, you come this way, it changes. It means when you hold this with your right click, you can change this. You can make it smaller or make it bigger, right? Just bear with this slow computer. That is it. So we're going to go there. We'll be asked to change the whole of these fonts. Let's just reverse it. Don't do things you have not been asked to do, okay? So this was just for practical reasons. I'm going to reverse all the things I have done, everything. So I'll reverse everything. So we have to change the whole of this row. So we now highlight the whole of the row. Now how do you change fonts? You change fonts in your home tab. There are two ways to change font. I'm going to show you the first way. The first way is a shortcut. Everything you're seeing over here is a shortcut, right? Everything here is a shortcut, right? So we're going to take your home. In your home, this is where if you copy something, you can paste, you can cut, and so on and so forth. Now this is where you change the fonts. The font for currently now is fonts is a font name agency FB, right? This is where you make text bold. This is where you make text italic. This is where you make text underlined, right? This is where you add let's say borders. You get the point. All these are shortcuts. So we're going to go straight to change the font, and we have been asked to change the font into, what font was that? Algerian font, right? So I went to check the font. So we have to highlight this, come to this place and type Al J. Before you finish typing Algerian, it will appear. So once you see this, just click enter. As you take enter, the font has changed. So if you have noticed very well, everything has changed here. It is no more written the same way. If we reverse, this is how it was in the beginning. So after changing the font, this is the new fonts that we have, right? So something is wrong here, so it's slow. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to edit this video to tell you that these are some of the difficulties you're going to face. You might have computers that are very, in fact, let me not just talk, right? This one is even better. So we're going to go to see the next question, what we have been asked to do. The next question says that insert cell borders in range A1 to G25, and then we should adjust the field name, the field name. That's we should adjust the name field with that's adjust the name field width to 138 pixels. Okay, so we should adjust the name field. That's the width of the names field. Now this is an English problem here. At least we are adjusting the width, right? So let's just understand the question anyway they give it. It's not a problem. So we should adjust the width of the name field to 138 pixels, and then also we should also insert cell borders in the range A1 to G25. So let's go to the Excel. What is wrong here? Okay, so we have to adjust from G25 to A1. So you have to come, as I told you, this is G, this is 25. So you come and touch where you have cell G 25. I can even read the cell name here, G25. I didn't show you this in the beginning because I had to test you instead of you reading. So this is G25. You're going to highlight it until you reach A1, right? So just click on G25, you pull it until you reach cell number A1. Are we together? So that's basically what you have to do. So for now, I am highlighting G25 to B2. So I now take it to A1, right? So after highlighting, what do? There are many ways you can put borders. So I'm going to give you the first way, which is still in home, right? In home, you come to this place. This is where you put borders. This is a shortcut. You click here. You're going to see we can put bottom border. You come here. We can put the top borders. You come here, come again, you can put the right borders, come here, you can put the left borders, come here, you can put the middle, and so on and so forth. So better we just click everywhere, somewhere, all borders. So that is in case you are asked to put left, right, and so on and so forth. But if you want to put every border everywhere, just go and click all borders. That's it. You click here, all borders. If you click here, outside borders, it places all the borders outside. If you put bottom double borders, it does the same thing, right? This is the first method, right? The second method I'm going to show you is the method that can do almost everything, meaning in this place you can do almost everything, so that is called, look at this, I highlight again completely, and then I've not highlighted well, good. Then I right click. After right clicking, I go to format cell. In this format cell, you can do a lot of things. So you can modify numbers, meaning you can increase the decimal places of numbers. You can put what they call thousand separators, that's commas everywhere, right? What's wrong here? Good. You can put thousand separators, like commas every after three numbers. You can go for currencies, you can put in dollars. You can put go for accounting here. You can go insert dates, you can put percentages, you can put time. So you can actually put different kinds of numbers here, right? So alignment, you can decide to align everything horizontally, meaning everything on the line name is aligned uh, uh, to the left, right? So you can decide to come here and press align to, let's say, to the center. When we're going to come here, everything is going to line at the center. Nothing is going to go to the borders. Like you're seeing, this one is right alignment, this is left align, this is left align. You can come here and do center, right? I hope you got that point. You can even come to the vertical and do top alignment, border alignment, and so on. There are many things you can do. You say, okay, so that font that we changed in the other side can also be changed here in format cells. So when you come to this font, you can change the font to whatever you like, right? You can do the same thing as we did. You search for the font, you look for it, right? You can make text italics, bold, everything can basically be done here. Everything that was done in this shortcut can be done here. You can go to borders, and this is what we did, right? So I can even remove these borders here. I click here and remove. Let's say I just put this one and I don't put those lines. When I'm going to click OK here, what happens is that I'm no more going to have these lines here. I'm no more going to have these lines here. Let me even remove this one. So I'm going to have all the vertical lines. So you see how effective this format cell can be. So when I say OK, everything that I said will be done. You have seen, right? So we made everything to align at the center, and I even clicked out some of them should be time. So let's reverse everything we have done and then do exactly what we were asked to do. All we're asked to do was to insert borders. Simply insert borders. So we're going to reverse everything that we have done and just quickly go to the format cell and insert just borders. That's all we are interested in. So borders are already there. We can remove all the borders, insert. Let's put thicker borders because there's not precise, right? There's not precise everything. So we can put any kind of line we want. So okay, that's it. So we have this one. Let's save our work. We try Control S to save. Control S. When you press Control S, you see the way this thing turns like this. The way it turns like this simply means your work has been saved, and your work is, that's the work has been saved and your work is safe. Yeah, so any electricity crash or whatever happens at the center, not that everything can happen. You can have a light failure and you lose all your work. So let's rush. I think I've given you enough advice. So for now, we are just going to go straight to the work. Insert cell borders in A1 to G5. We have done that. They said adjust the name field, the field, the width of the name field to 138 pixels. I'm going to read the next question. We'll do all at the same time. Insert the formula in 15% discount fee to calculate the discount for each item bought. The discount this discount 5% of the products. This discounts 5% of the product of unit price and quantity. Right? I hope you get the point. So hope you understood. Let me read it again. Insert the formula in the 5% discount fee to calculate the discount for each item bought, right? They said this discounts 5% of the product of the unit price and quantity, meaning it's going to remove 5% of the product of unit price and quantity. Basically means that we must first find the product of unit price and quantity and then remove 5% of it and insert in that cell. That is what we are expected to do, right? So this is basically mathematics. If you were expected to calculate this in your book, what are you going to do? We are going to first of all take the product of these two, unit price and quantity, right? Then we divide it by 1000 after we multiply by 5. As simple as that, right? So in Excel, what do you do to write formulas? You must always start with your equal sign. When you start your equal sign, Excel obeys both math. So I advise you to learn how to use brackets. So I'm going to first of all open a bracket. What the hell is this? Good, sorry. I'm going to first open a bracket, and when I open a bracket, I multiply these two. Once you have written equals to in Excel, Excel already knows that that is a formula you're going to write. So I open a bracket, I press here, I click here. Clicking is to tell Excel that I want to multiply this field with this field. Is it okay? I want to multiply this one with this one, unit price and quantity. So I've already pressed D2. You can press anywhere Excel recognizes, right? So I press here now. You must not also press, right? Let me just delete. You can also type the D2, like I type D and I put 2. Excel knows that that's what I've typed, right? I can also put G6. Excel knows that I've typed. I'm in the cell G6. So we want by the cell D2, right? So we take our D2. We have to multiply D2 by how many? By E2. So we just add a multiplication sign. That's star. Star is multiplication here, and we click the next. Once you put that star, Excel knows you're done with the first one, and so the next thing you're going to click is the next number, and you can do the same thing. You can decide to type. So I'm going to click here, and that's it. What do I do now? I close it. I close this bracket. After closing the bracket, what do? I divide by 1000 and I multiply by 5. As simple as that. And we know that multiplication and division, multiplication and addition are commutative, meaning you can add from any direction. So we must not put any bracket here. So we can simply take divided by 1000, right? Are we together? All that, let's take times first. It's going to be better, right? But just to avoid anything, let's put the bracket. Let's just bracket it. So divide it by 1000, divide everything, meaning it should multiply this first of all in the bracket, then take what's in the bracket, multiply by divide by 1000, and then take everything and multiply by 5, right? That is it. Don't bother as the formula is going away. There's no problem. Just keep writing your formula until your formula is fine. When you're done writing your formula, you don't do anything, but you just simply click enter. And as you're writing, your formula is also appearing here, so you can even come above here and edit your formula, right? So when you're done doing this, you're just going to click enter, and you have your work done, right? So I'll click. Once I click enter, I have my calculation here. So like when you come here now, you're going to notice that this is the formula you have written. That's the formula. So you come to this cell, there's no formula. You come down here, there's no formula. That's because this formula you wrote is only for this field. Right now, there are ways you can copy this formula to apply all through here, and that each when you put the formula here should use this and this, the formula here should you use and this. Excel is smart enough to do that. So what you do is that as I click here, I have a big plus sign. When I come near this line, I have a dot sign, an asterisk. This asterisk permits you to carry maybe the content of this cell and take it to any cell. Meaning if I paste it here, it's going to carry the formula that I've put it to paste it. In fact, any content of that cell, you're going to paste it everywhere, anywhere I leave it, right? You're going to paste it anywhere I leave it. So for that reason, we can't use this. We want to copy the cell throughout here so that it uses each of this. So what do? We first of all highlight it, then we come towards this small box that is here, and when you come towards that small box, you see the plus sign changes. It changes to a small tick plus sign, which indicates that this is the right thing, this is the right time to copy the formula down. What do? You right click on your mouse and you pull it down to where you want it to end. Once you reach where you want to end, you just leave the mouse and bam, the formula is copied everywhere, right? So this automatically calculates this divided by 1000 times 5. So when you click here, you notice that the formula is now D8E8. So basically means that it is taken by this and this, right? If I go and click on cell number 23, right, I'm going to sorry, on row number 23, for example here, I'm going to notice that everything is going to be how many? D23 times E23 divided by 1000. Oh, am I doing supposed to do 1000? Oh la la, see mistakes I've done. It's not 1000, it's 100. It's 100. So it remove this 10. How was I doing? Enter, everything is modified. You copy the formula here, right? These are some of the errors we can do when working in ICT practicals. It's on a one, it's divided by 1000. This is basically mathematics, right? So it's percentage per 100. That's fine. So what do we do again? Control save, very important. Go to the next thing, where we're asked to modify the width of this name field to be 138 pixels. As I said, this is why you modify the width. The distance from here to here is the width, and the distance from down here to up here is the height. So simply come and hold, as I said, and modify. As you're modifying, you're going to see that the width is going to be showing, right? It's going to show some value here. So when you come here, right click it and start moving. As you're moving, you're going to see some values. Unfortunately, this thing is really slow. So yes, we can see 221 pixels. It's reducing. You have to reduce to 138, right? You already passed 138. Perfect. This is it. So once more you save. We rush down to the next question. Next question says that insert a formula in the payable total field to calculate the total price for each sale. The total is calculated following the algorithm below. Multiply unit price by quantity to get the total price. Subtract 5% discount from the total price above, right? Then write the formula to calculate the payable total in figure 12. I guess they want to say in row 12, right? Or in cell 12. So even in question number 4, we were asked to put the formula, meaning we should put the formula, write down the formula in cell 4. We have to write the formula. So I'm going to go and show you the formula for cell 4. This one we have been asked to write the formula in list 12. That's write down the formula to calculate the payable total in figure 12 in the above list, right? So we have to write the formula that is found in F12, and here we have to write the formula that was found in C4. So let's go back to there and see what we have to do. Good. This is what we just calculated, and they asked us to write the formula that is in C4. So what do? Just come and click on C4. When you click on C4, you see this formula here. This is it. Just copy this thing. Just copy equals to open bracket again, Z4 times E4 or close bracket times. Copy this on that place. Copy with your pen, right? That's basically what they asked you to do. There's nothing complicated to what they asked you to do. The next part says we should calculate the payable total. What's payable total? The amount the person is going to pay at the end of the day, right? When they have given the person this discount, and they have explained to us the algorithm to find the payable total. What is it? Multiply these two, and whatever answer we have, we subtract this one from it. We remove the discount now. Yes, of course. So as simple as that. We put equal sign. We open our bracket. After opening our bracket, Excel already knows this is a formula, so I multiply unit price. I put my multiplication sign. Good, and I take this one again. Then what do? I close the bracket. After close the bracket, I'm now going to subtract my discount. Press the subtraction sign and subtract the discount from it. And what do? Enter. And I'm having the payable total. What do again? I copy everything down here and I'm done, right? They have asked us to put the formula in cell 12. So we have to come here and click on 12 and copy this in our book, on our question paper. Copy this equal open bracket D12 times E12 subtracted by that. That's basically what you have to do. There's nothing complicated to it. Just copy it, right? So we are going to proceed to the next question without wasting time. This video is getting too long. Good. Next question says we are done with these first five, so I think I can highlight it, and we highlight the next from 6 to 10. Good. Calculate the total 5% discount and payable total in the row 25. Meaning you should calculate the total 5% discount and the total payable total in row 25, right? Write down the formula in cell C25. Good. Let's just quickly go and calculate the totals as they have asked us to do. They said we should calculate the total in this cell and also calculate the total in this cell, which basically means we have to put the total of this one here and put the total of this one here. As simple as that. There are many ways to sum, right? There are three ways. First way is that you press equal sign, right? What do? You type sum. You type sum, S-U-M. When you type sum will appear among these things. You just double click this sum that is here. Don't take sum if, right? Sum if is another function we are going to see later. So you double click the sum and this thing appears, right? You can now choose numbers you're summing, like this number, comma, this number, comma, this number. That's basically you're saying you're going to add these cells, and so on and so forth. There are many things that's just basically what you have to do. But this is too long. You're going to keep clicking until you come and you close the bracket like this, and then you take enter and it puts the sum. But that's not what you have to do. You will not have that time to be summing all these things. So you can, instead of doing that, you instead modify by saying equal sum, open your bracket. After opening your bracket, you touch this one, you put a column, and you put this other one, right? You touch the end, meaning you're telling Excel that please sum me from C2 to C24. You close the bracket. You can even see Excel that have highlighted everything for you. Then you just enter, and this is what we are supposed to do. The third way is one of the simplest too. There you don't even need to stress, right? There you don't even need to stress. Let me delete everything here. Let me practically delete everything, right? You click here, you come to your home tab, or let's say your insert. No, it's not under insert, it's under formulas, right? And you come to auto sum. Auto sum automatically sums everything above it. So when you click auto sum here, what it does is that it automatically just sums what is above it, right? So if there's nothing complicated to do, just come and click auto sum and you're done. You notice it's the same answer. So not to stress, I just come and click auto sum here, and that's fine. Take enter and have the value. So that's what you have to do, as simple as that. Control S, you save your work. Don't forget to always save your work, right? Let's go to the questions and see the next thing. The next thing says that, oh, we have forgotten. Yeah, you have to copy this formula in cell C25. I think I've already shown you how to do that, right? You pass. Set the fonts of row 25 to bold and size 14. Yeah, this is very simple. So let's take the next question first. So we're going to set this one to bold and size 14. But I don't advise you to be doing two questions at a time. Do the two one by one. It's just to gain time, right? Format numbers in the range C2 to F25 to 1000 operators without decimal places. C2 to F25, C2 to F25 to 1000 operators without decimal places. I think I already showed you this, but I'm going to show you again, right? The first thing was that we should make the whole of this row to be bold and to make the font size to be 25. You can do it here, you can do it here. Just click here, it's going to be bold, right? And you come and click here and put it 14, right? Hope you get that point. But as well as you can also decide to do the same thing in format cell, which is a bit longer. You go to format cell and you go to each section and you edit it. For example, I can touch here. Let me reverse it and do it in format cell, right? So I'm going to reverse the whole thing and we go to format cell and do it. Good. I mark the whole thing. I right click, I go to format cell. What do? I can go to font. What do? I make it bold. I make it bold and I put the size to be 14. And what do? I just click OK and it's going to apply the same thing. They said we should do from F25. How many we should format from F25 to how many? To C2. That's what the next question said we should do. F25 to C2. We should format it in 1000 operators and remove decimal points, meaning it should be in 0 decimal places. That's what we're asked to do, right? So we're going to highlight everywhere that I've told us. They said we should do from F25, which is this one, to C2. So what we do is that we go to format cells. Most of the things are in format cell. We go to numbers, come down again to another numbers here, and this is where we modify decimal points. You can increase. You see, as it shows you an example here. So you modify until you have 0 decimal points, and then you click this use thousand separators. Click this here. Make sure you click this here to tick it, and then you just press equal sign, and that's all. You can clearly see as it has put commas in every numbers. That's how you use numbers, right? When numbers are too large, make sure you use thousand separators for you to show difference between every three numbers, to know when it's 1,000, when it's 1,000,000, when it's 100,000, and so forth. Next, we save our work, right? Quickly save our work. We go to the next question. We have done 7 and 8 already, so we have already set it to bold and 14. We have also done the formatting of C2 to F25, and they said ensure that you have written down the formulas in the cell in question 4, 5, and 6. Yes, make sure you have written this. That means you have taken the formula and written on this place. Right, go to cell C25 and write the formula here. Right, you can watch back the videos and make sure you write it in your own paper. We go down to number 9. Rearrange the field column in this sheet to occur in order: SN, name, item, unit price, discount, and payable. Right? They've asked us to rearrange. That means you just rearrange everything to first. That means SN should be first, name should be second, item should be next, unit price should be next. So let's read the first 4. SN, name, item, and unit. Right? SN, name, item, and unit. So we have to first put SN first, name, and make sure this item comes and is number 3rd. So the advice I can do is that you insert an empty cell in between B and C, then copy item and place there. So all you need to do is to come to this, just click this C here, right click, and you take insert. It insert an empty cell here. What do? You then come and take this item. You click the whole item, come close to this until you see this asterisk. When you see this asterisk, what do? You right click and hold. When you right click, the asterisk will disappear. Then you carry it wherever you want to carry it. So this is where we want to place it. So we leave it here. Bam! It has transported itself there. Right? That is basically it. So they say we should arrange in SN, name, item. What was the next thing to do? The next thing was SN, name, item. After item, it should be unit price and discount. Unit price and discount. Next, after item, it should be unit price and discount. So we need to place another empty cell between C and D, and we carry E and place there. Right? So as simple as that, we right click, we insert, then we take unit price, we carry, we place. Right? That's it. Hope these formulas do not change. D2, D2. Yeah, the formulas do not change, right? They are going to maintain their integrity just the way they were. So after unit price, you put your after item is unit price. After unit price is payable row. So we still need to insert an empty cell here, and then we are going to take the payable. Good. I just checked and they said we should insert light blue color to the cells, all these cells that make up the field name, right? So these are fields, these are all fields. This is a field, this is a field, this is a field. So all the cells that make up this field is what we are referring to. So they say we should change all these names to light blue. What do we do again? We must highlight it, and we can do it in format cells, but there's a shortcut to do it in home. So you take home, you can see if you click here, it's going to be red. You can then click on this drop down, come to these colors here. These are colors. This is deep red, this is dark red, this is red itself, this should be orange, this should be yellow, this should be lemon green, this should be green. The colors appear, right? When you come near the color appear. Like you can see light blue appearing. So I click here, and that's all. I control save. I'm done from question 1 to question 10. So we are going to unhighlight all this, we move to the next part of it, right? We have 11, 12, 13 left. Now the next exercise are based on all sales and summary sheet. First, sort in ascending order the table in all sales items. We should just sort that table in ascending order, right? What is sorting ascending order? Means you have to sort from the biggest to the smallest, meaning as we are going up it should be increasing. That's what they call ascending. As we are going up it should be increasing. So let's go now to that wholesale. This is it here, and we have to sort in ascending order. For now it's in descending order because it's leaving from 1, 2, 3 descending, right? So I have to sort it in ascending order. So what do you have to sort? You cannot just come and rearrange everything here. What you do is that you come and insert something we call a filter. We call it the filter. So you're going to insert a filter everywhere here on this line, meaning everywhere on this line you insert a filter. You have to insert a filter everywhere to make Excel know that when I'm going to modify this thing, please also modify this one. Meaning if I carry this one and put it in the last, please carry this one also and bring it down. Carry this one and bring it down with me. So you must highlight everywhere here and insert the filter. It's very, very important, right? So let me highlight everywhere and go to my insert, and then I think that should be home. Yes, and then you go to sort and filter. You right click it and you take filter. Bam. So Excel have added, you can see it has added these drop down menus on all of them here. So you just have to come to each of them. Normally if these are numbers, when you take the drop down menu you will see largest to smallest, and I've said we should arrange in ascending order. So we have to start from largest to smallest, right? Are we together? So we're not sorting by this value, we're sorting by these numbers here, this number 1, 2. So let's just come here and sort it from largest to smallest. Same as if it was text, like written number, you can sort it from A to Z or from Z to A, right? Are we together? So let's just even take from A to Z. You want to see that it's going to rearrange everything in alphabetical order, like B, 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 C, 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 F, 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 G, 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 and so on and so forth, right? But we have been asked to arrange it in ascending order. So let's come to this one and sort it from biggest to smallest. So largest to smallest. Perfect. And you're going to see 23 moving up and 1 moving down. Everything is fine. We save. Control S, right? We just did that exercise. We move to the next. The next question says that, let's check it. It says that in C2 of the summary sheet, type a formula to link C2 to a cell in all sales that contain the unit price of spanners. Listen carefully. In C2 of the summary sheet, meaning we should go to the cell C2 of the summary sheet, meaning go and click in that cell. What do? Type a formula in that cell C2 to a cell in all sales, meaning that C2 is found in all sales that contain the unit price of spanners. Yeah, meaning you have to go to there and type a formula that will contain the unit price of spanners, right? Meaning you're going to summary sheet, right, to type in the cell C2 to link a cell C2 to the cell in all sales. I think it will be more practical for me to explain to you in the Excel sheet. You're actually going to another sheet to carry information. Excel is capable of doing that, meaning Excel can go to this summary sheet to the cell C2 and type a formula here that is capable of going to this all sales and carrying this unit price C2 and bringing it there. The unit price is here. The unit price is here in D2, but Excel is capable of coming here. You type a formula. You're not going to come and read the unit, like you don't have to come and read the unit price. If you read the unit price 900 and come and put it here, it's not going to work, because you know then when they'll say type in the formula. No, they mostly mark by those formulas, not really this work. Most of the time they don't have time to observe this work. They mostly mark the formula. So if you don't do the work, you can't have the formula, right? So I come to this C2. I must type a formula that can be able to come. That means that formula should be able to come to this all sales and read this unit price and come back and write it here. Is that okay? That formula is no other formula than the formula that we call Vlookup. It's called Vlookup. How do you use that formula? We take equal sign, we take Vlook. Once you press lookup, the lookup already comes. So let's just double click on this lookup. Lookup means lookup formula is capable of, what is this? No. Okay, perfect. Lookup from lookup cell lookup is capable of looking up a value. Like it is going to go to the old sales. It's going to go to the old sales and look for the name spanner, and then look for the unit price of spanners and put it there. Meaning it's going to come to this place and look for that. This is a lookup value. It should be looking for spanners, but I don't know why this is clear spinners. I think we need to correct the space. If you don't correct it, it's not going to work. These are tricks. Don't think that the GC board put this for nothing. They know very well. It's left on you to know that if this thing doesn't match, it cannot go, and you have to correct that spelling. That's what we call problem solving, right? You're not just doing what I've told you because they're dictating notes to you. No. You should be able to understand problems. So this is spinner, and we'll need to correct that spelling. If not, it will not work. Is it okay? It will not work. So let's cancel everything we are doing here. Let's just clear everything and quickly correct this spelling to spanners. If not, it's not going to work. It's never going to work. So it's spanners, SPANNER. So this is A here. No, small a. Perfect. Right? If you don't do this, it will not work. And don't think that they did a mistake. It's not a mistake. Some of them they do it knowingly. So equal sign, we take VLOOKUP. Now we double click on this VLOOKUP. You can just type your VLOOKUP, that's no problem, right? You click your lookup value, spanner, you're looking for spanner in this. And when you're telling Excel that whenever you see spanner, please read the unit price and tell me, right? So I come to this old sales, and now I have to now let's come back to our summary. After lookup, what do? We take a comma. Comma means I've already mentioned my lookup value, right? This had a mistake here, so let's reverse. Double click on this, click your lookup value, take comma. After comma, now they say table array. That's the next thing you're looking for. Table array. Your table should be able to have all these names here and the unit prices they're looking for. So I come to this old says, well, my table array should be a table of two, let's say two columns, right? Spanner, item and unit price. So it's going to come to this whole table and look for the word spanner. Whenever it's going to see the word spanner, it's going to read the unit price of that spanner, right? Whenever you see the word spanner on this whole row, it's going to take the unit price that is here and then insert it in the other cell, right? So I leave it now, and when you mark this your table, please do not return. Just stay here and press equal sign. Excel will return back. In fact, you're like, this formula is like telling Excel that now travel and go to all sales, look for where the spanner, and read me the number close to spanner, and the number close to spanner is the unit price. That's what it is doing. So when you are here, you are not going to carry it and come back. You leave it come back by itself by simply pressing enter. When you press enter, you see it reverses. What went wrong? So I've wiped everything and we're going to restart. Right? In explaining, I might have done something that is not going. So you just have to reverse everything. If you're trying to, in fact, better when the formula is not giving or is making some error kind of thing, better clear it. The advice for me is that clear it, just clear it and rewrite it is better, right? Clear it completely and just redo it. It's not too much. You're not typing a whole text. So VLOOKUP, I'm not going to explain much again. Take spanner, comma, come to the old sales. When I come to old sales, I look up the value from these two tables. After looking up the values, what do? Okay, so we take enter and we see what happens. So I see why this doesn't work, right? These are mistakes we can do most at times. I've used a VLOOKUP function. I'm sure most of you didn't even understood what's going wrong, but this is the wrong function, right? We're not using VLOOKUP. We're using a lookup function, not a VLOOKUP function. I'm going to explain later on the difference between a VLOOKUP and a lookup. So all of these things, something is wrong, right? So it's not a VLOOKUP function, but it's simply lookup function. So basically we have to just clear this and we take lookup instead of VLOOKUP, right? There are two different things. So we're going to repeat everything. We take enter, we take lookup instead of VLOOKUP, right? We double click, take our lookup value, we take comma, then we come back to all sales and then highlight everywhere we want to highlight, right? From here you take enter and it returns with your values, and that's it. So when you highlight this, you simply click on enter, and Excel is going to simply enter with your values corresponding to the table you have highlighted. So we take enter, and bam, Excel is back with the unit price of spanners. And if you can verify, you go to all sales, you're going to see that the unit price of spanner is 900. You can verify. Let's now apply the formula all down here, because the next question told us to apply this formula from here to cell number 9, right? Let's go back to it and see what to verify what I'm saying. The question asks us to apply that formula from there down to 9. That's what it says. They said do similarly for the cells in the range C3 to C9, meaning we have to just push that formula from C3 to C9. That's it. So we're going to leave from here, push it down from here. As I said, come on, so you have this black dot, pull it to this one, and Excel is simply going to go to all the tables and look for the unit prices. But on the bulb we are having an NA. So what can be this NA? What's the issue? We're going to go and check what is going on, right? We have to go and check if there is a spelling bulb there. There might not be anything bulb, so we don't know what's going on. So this bulb has, right, so this bulb has an issue. We don't know what the issue is. So I'll advise, as I always said, clear it off. Just write its own formula, look up. At this level you can even copy the formula and put here, right? You already know what you're looking for, but then let's just do it. We are looking out for bulb, comma, and we're looking for bulb in this one. So I'll just highlight just the cell, right? I'll not stress. I'll just highlight just the cell, and I take enter, right? What is this? So we quickly restart. Something went wrong. We just restart it, as simple as that. As I said, just restart. When these things happen, just restart it. Just restart it, right? We take bulb. We're looking for bulb, comma. We come to this place. We highlight any range that has bulb inside. So let's just even take from here to here. At least there's a bulb inside. So when you're going to see this bulb, you're going to carry this price 1,500 and insert it. Bam. So everything is corrected. I don't know why the other one was disturbed, but as I said, when something happens of this nature, please leave it and quickly restart. What do? I save my work. The last question under Excel says that in summary sheet, no, first of all, we have to write down the formula in cell C2. So let's just go to cell C2 and write the formula, right? That's the cell in summary sheet. So in summary sheet, type the formula in D2 that will add the total quantities of spanners sold. Do similarly for the cells in range D3 to D9. Write the formula in D2 in the line. They say in summary sheet, type a formula in D2 that will add the total quantities of spanners sold. That's all. In summary sheet, type the formula in D2 that will add the total quantities of spanners sold. Do the same, the similarly for cell D3 to D9, right? Let's navigate quickly to the Excel and see what we are supposed to do, right? So they say in this D2, we type a formula to see the total of spanners sold. This is another lookup. This is another lookup formula, but at least it's going to go. It's like it's going to look up values that where the spanner and sum them. So it's like a sum if. So it's going to always sum. Like we come here, right? This is the quantity bought on this day. These spanners were bought on this day. These spanners were bought on this other day. Where spanners again, this number of spanners were bought. So we basically have to come and sum everything here, only if it is equal to spanner. So it's called a sum if formula, right? It's called a sum if. So you can directly come to Excel, take equal sign, and write sum if, and if appears, right? So you just double click on sum if, and what happens? They say your range, what are you summing? You come here, you click your range. This is where you're summing. Sorry, the quantity is not unit price. You highlight from year to year. This is going to be your range, right? So the sum if, I just delete it, so I rewrite it. So we're going to take equal sign, sum if. Now what do? The first thing sum if asks us is the range, meaning the range of this range is actually the range of values you're going to be checking, right? We want to go and check to we have to go and check all these stats on the old sales. We have to come to the old sales and select the range of all the sales that happened, right? We select the range of all the sales that happened. Now the next thing is that we put comma. After inserting comma here, we're going to be asked to insert a criteria. What's the meaning of criteria? Meaning criteria is like, now you're giving the rule to Excel. Tell Excel that this is where you're just from inserting the range. You told Excel that this is where you should be looking at, right? Now criteria is to tell Excel that if you see this or if you see this, you give it its criteria. So maybe it can be criteria that if this is greater than 10, sum. If this is less than 10, sum. So these are not values, right? So criteria is like, if this is equal to, let's come back to summary and take spanner. You're telling the Excel that go to all sales, look from C2 to C24. If you see any value that is equal to this, if you see any value in all sales from C2 to C24 that is equal to this summary B2. Summary B2 is like on summary sheet B2. This is it name here. So you tell Excel to go to this all sales. You tell Excel that go to all sales, look from all the sales that happened. If any sale is labeled is labeled spanner, or let's say B2, you then put your comma. If any sale is labeled, now the next is sum range. Insert your sum range. If you see any sale that is labeled that, sum range, sum from quantity to this. So you have told Excel to look here. If he looks and sees spanner, he should then sum all the spanners, meaning he's going to come and sum 10 plus 14 plus 11 plus another spanner. Spanner here is 230, right? You can manually sum it to see if it's going to be true. So we have 230 here, plus 11 we have 241, plus 19 we have 250, we have 260, plus this one we have 271, and so on and so forth. So we are expecting about 280 something and something, right? So we are going to go to, we simply finish the formula here, right? We already put our sum range. So what we do is that we come up here, we close our bracket, right? And from close our bracket we take enter. So before take enter, always check your formula, right? All sales C2 to 24. When I touch here, it's supposed to show me that this is the range C2 to 24, and it is fine. We now take a summary B2, which is under the summary table B2, and then all sales, we close the bracket. I think from here it's fine. We take enter and bam. So as I say, we're expecting around 209 something, and it's fine. So the last question says we should extend it all through from D3 to D9. So we push it down and we're fine. So they already did it. They already put the last formula for us. We are not the one that put this formula, right? The GC board already put the formula C2 times D2. So it already measured unit price times or total quantity. So this is the amount the whole store made. This is the amount the whole store made from selling bulbs. This is the amount the whole store made from selling cables. That's throughout this range from the 26th of the 10th month to the 12th, right? Sorry, from the 12th of the 10th month to the 26th. I guess everything is fine as from this level. So we do what? We control save our work, and I don't think there's any other question from Excel. Let's go and verify if there's any other question. And I think we're fine, right? Now they say print the 3 sheets of this workbook, sales, all sales and summary. You are not expected to print this sheet, to print it for you, but I can give you one advice. Rearrange your sheet in such a way that when they print, you will not cut part of your work. So we're going to go to, let's analyze starting from sales, right? Just press Ctrl P and see if when they print everything will come out, right? So we're going to simply press Ctrl P and see that everything is, it's fine. Yes, if they print in we call this landscape, right? If they print in landscape, all your data will come out. But the advice is go and check if in case this one was printed in, let's say, portrait. Come to page layout and then orientation, put it in portrait, right? When you put in portrait, you see one dotted line here showing you that if you print, all your work will enter. So let's just Ctrl P and see, right? I hope you have all the time to do this in your practical. So Ctrl P, it's going to show you how it's going to look if when it's going to be printed. And from there you see if all your will be printed, if not it's going to be cut, and from here you are fine, everything is going to come out, right? You come to this one and do the same. It's pretty short, so obviously everything will come out, whether in portrait or in landscape, right? So I advise you to, if it's not going in portrait, just leave it the way it is. Control P, everything comes out, I guess, right? So it's fine, everything is fine. So we can check the summary is pretty short, so in any way it's going to come out. So you'll find this is the end of Excel. What you do is that just save your work, just control save your work, make sure you just save, because when the invigilators pass by, all they are going to do is that they don't need to check what you're doing inside here, right? They don't need to check, they'll just come to this folder, and when they reach this folder, they open it. After opening it, what do they do? They will simply take this MDC control print. They will just print it. They don't care what is inside. Whatever comes out has come out, right? So that's just the thing. That's as simple as that. That is the first part of Excel. So I hope you learned something from this video. It's 1 hour and above. That's 1 hour exactly. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.